Hey, what's up, geeks? Darron here. Now, I'm not sure if if you watched the tutorial that I had last week where we actually set up Redux and I showed you how to not only set up Redux, how to use it, and also how to use selectors. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do that. Also, there was two live streams last week, and one of the live streams, the application actually broke. And the reason that happened is because there was an issue with the node modules. All I had to do was delete the node modules and run yarn and start again. That was my bad. But anyways, in this video, we're going to continue where we left off. Now, before I get into that, if you're interested in checking out the Discord, is anything that you want me to let you know, if there's anything you need to learn on the React Native side, feel free to reach me on Discord and we can go from there. Now, also, if you're interested, is another thing. I also have a podcast called A Podcast for Men. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description below for the podcast as well. I'm not sure if I updated the description, but there should be a link to the podcast, Podcast for Men. So definitely check that out. But anyways, let's get into it. I'm a little what I would drop. I'm a little tired because I just got back from practice. If you don't know, I actually compete in martial arts, and yeah, I had training this morning, so a little winded. So first thing, man, I'm just gonna check. I'm gonna fix these styles because right now this application is looking really ugly. So let's go ahead and do that. And also, as you can see, some of these articles, they don't have any title. So I'm going to create some condition around that. So last week, as I stated, we went over selectors. Now, the reason you would use selectors is if you have data that you're getting from the reducer and you're also mutating that information. Now, you don't want to call a mutation function every time you load your data. If the data is different, then yes, in that case, you want to reload that information, then recalculate, reprocess the functionality to get the data show the way you want it to show. But if the data coming from the API matches the data that we have on the reducer, there's no need for us to reprocess all these different things. So that's how a selector works. A selector allows you to mutate information that doesn't change and get it to look the way that you want to look within your screen. Check out the last video if you're still unclear about that, or you can message me on Discord. But anyways, as you can see, some of these articles don't even have a title. So I'm going to have to add some kind of condition statement. So right here in my map, I'm going to say if article it's not auto-populating. Article title. If you don't know already, the question mark is an optional. End article at byline. So if both of these are true, then we want this process to pass through. So if we meet both of these conditions, then we're going to push that article to our array. Save. Now, as you can see, the data updated. You can see that right now we have our title coming through, and then also some of the images have updated as well. And that's what I love about selectors. You see, I just automatically did that for us. Next, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I am going to fix up this ugly application. So for the thumbnail, I want to give it the border radius of 10. I want to round out these edges. So now we have rounder edges. And then also, as you can see, the title is way too close to the image itself. And the image is too high. So I'm going to go ahead and put the image at 200. See how that looks. That's a lot better. I'm going to make the margin, and I'll make the margin 10. Actually, I'll put it as 660. Margin bottom. Not bad. Okay, looking good so far. Next, the next thing we're going to go ahead and do. So the byline, I don't see the byline coming through, but I'll worry about that in a second. So next thing I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to update the title. So I'll go ahead, make another style for our title. Font, Size. I'll go with 20. Font. Weight. I'll make this bold. How that looks. Do not forget to add our style. So style, styles.title. Oh, it's a little too big. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this 16. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now, as you can see, we have byline, but byline isn't showing. So I'm gonna take a look at the selector, and we have author. So I'm gonna go ahead and reference author instead of byline. Okay, now you can see the author. So for the title, I'm going to put a margin bottom, make it 5. Same thing. Okay. And I should make a margin for this entire, see, there's no style attached to this card. So I'll go ahead and I will add a style. Well, I'll put like this card. Say margin bottom 16, border radius. Make this 10. So what else do I have? And I'll give it the padding of 16. Periodically, I'm going to stop doing our tutorials to see if there's anything in the chat, see if there's anything I'm missing. All right, so now we have our card style. I'm going to go ahead and add to touchable opacity. I'll say style, styles.card. See how that looks. Okay, so what I like to do when I'm in this situation, because right now we can't even see this card, see where the borders of it meet or whatever, etc. So what I like to do when I'm in a situation, I usually Google. There's a website that actually builds the shadows for you for your cars or anything that you need within your application. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll say React Native shadow. You can see there's a React Native shadow generator. And I'm not going to play around with it. I'm just going to grab what they have here. Let's exit out of here, go back. I'm going to paste that style in just like that. Oh, did I put the style? No. So styles card is not going through. So I'm gonna go ahead and just refresh this and see what's going on. Okay. It looks like the style went attached itself to the text for whatever reason. If you can see, there's now a shadow attached to the text. So I'm going to go ahead and just get out of here and see what happens. Yeah, that's weird. So the style is actually going to our text and not our card, which is very awkward. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this. And I'm going to clean the build folder. And I'm just going to restart the application. Now, while that is reloading, stop sharing my screen, see what's going on, if there's anything in the comments. Okay. So if you guys weren't here last week, I want to give you a background of who I am. One second. So who am I? My name is Darron Brown, I'm the senior React Native developer for Peerspace. Right now, I manage a few developers out in the Ukraine, and we also have another developer on the team that is local, United States wise. If you're not familiar with Peerspace, Peerspace works is similar to how Airbnb works. Airbnb, you can rent out spaces for a number of days. Peerspace, you can rent out spaces for a number of hours. So in a case, let's say, for example, you have a party, there's a baby shower, or there's something along those lines, an event. Peerspace allows you to rent event space for a number of hours, which makes it such a unique application. Within that application, I was responsible for localizing the app. If you're not familiar with localization basically allows you to make your application available in multiple languages. If you've ever used Airbnb, you've traveled outside the country, done things like that, Airbnb is available worldwide. So you can view the application in Mandarin, you can view the application in German, you can view the application in Spanish, Italian, etc. So I built this system for Peerspace, and since then we've launched in French Canada, France, Germany, and the UK, and we're still expanding. Now, to go back further than that, I graduated from the University of Utah with a master's in IT. I got my undergraduate in economics, and while I was getting my undergraduate, I was a football player for the University of Utah. I was born and raised in the San Francisco Bay Area. I got my associate's degree from Cupertino, well, De Anza College in Cupertino, excuse me. And I played, like I said, I played Division I football. And while I was playing ball, I fell in love with tech, and I taught myself how to code. So now here I am. Now let's actually check out this application and see if it's up and running. Okay, so the app is back up and running. I'm gonna go through these styles and see what's actually preventing the card shadow from actually showing. So we have our image. I wonder if I put like a border color, border width. Okay, so it's there. It's just not showing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep this. And instead, I'm going to change the border color. Say like light gray. Or gray. Okay. Well, I mean, that looks cool enough. And we press it. You see our card press. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now, if you remember from last week, we want to start up our React Native debugger. Make sure I close this out. Do that later. And I'm going to have to refresh the application. Wait for this to start building. Here we go. These M1 chips, they work so well. So now, as you can see within our data, we have a collection of different articles. If we go into some of our data, you check it out, pin it, check out the sections, see how it looks raw. This is all the data that's coming back. Now, what we want to do, you see right now, we're calling our actions. We have an action that it calls the API to fetch articles that's pending. Once that API is fulfilled, it calls this action, and then within its payload, it sends all of this information. So right now, if we take a look at our state, we have our state, and it shows how our state currently looks within our news data, which is pretty unique. If you're not familiar with Redux debugger, with React Native debugger, get familiar with it because it will save you some time, and it's so easy to use and so helpful for you when you're going to be actually working as a professional developer. Now, once I actually click on our article, what's going to happen is I'm going to save that article to our reducer. And you'll see that within the inspector on the left column is going to show that an action has been called. So when I press it, you can see the save article action has been called. If we go into that, you can see which article we actually saved. Right here. Yes. News, save articles. You can see now I have the save article. Shows me everything that's in there. And then it's a list of articles. So I'm gonna save another one. Now we take a look. And I save articles as 2 articles in there. All right. So right now we're not actually doing anything with these save articles. And to be frank, it's not really user friendly. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna add an alert box to our to this functionality. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search for React Native Alert. So I'm going to take this alert that we have right here. Right now, when we press, this is the function that gets called. We actually dispatch an action. I'm going to a function called save article. Then there, I'm going to paste in this alert. Now, let me not forget to import our alert function. Now, instead of alert title, we're going to ask the question, save article. Let's say save article is going to be the title. Save article. And ask the question, do you want to save this article? Cancel. So on cancel, we don't really need anything. It doesn't really matter. Go ahead and fix this file. And when it's okay, what we want to actually do, instead of console logging okay, we actually want to call our action that we have right here. So I'm going to grab that, and then I'm going to replace our console log with our dispatch action. And I'm going to get our item. Awesome. Okay, looks good. Now, instead, I'm going to pass in our save article function. And I'm going to pass in the item. Now, when we click on the article, it should have an alert. And it's going to ask us, do you want to save this article? Now, I'm going to go back here. And I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember how you clear this thing out. I'm going to go back. And then I'm going to cancel. So right now, when I click an article, no action is being called. It's just asking us, are we sure you want to save that article? Once I press OK, our action is going to be dispatched. You know, as you can see, the save articles action was dispatched and it updated our state. Now we have 3 articles in our state. Now, as I was saying earlier, right now we're not doing anything with those saved articles. Ideally, what we want to do is we want to have a screen where a person can view all the most recent articles. And we also want to have a screen where somebody can actually see the articles that they saved. In order to do that, we're going to have to import a library called React Navigation. Now, React Navigation is a must-know dependency because more than most likely, you're going to have to use this dependency for any navigation within your application. I have worked for companies that were using an outdated version of React Navigation or using a tool prior to that. And that's only because the application was created before React Navigation became sophisticated. And instead of updating re-architecting the navigation within their application, they went ahead and just stuck with it. Now, I personally would have updated that application, but I understand why they didn't, because navigation is the skeleton of your application. You can most likely you will break something, but it's worth taking the time to actually learn how to do it. But anyways, as I digress, what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to go back to Google and I'm going to Google search for React Navigation. Let me make sure. Cool. Okay. So once I read the docs, so we're going to import React Navigation. Installing a bare dependency into installing dependencies into a bare React Native application. That's exactly what I'm doing. I do not use Expo because Expo is for chumps, beginners, and if you want to be a pro, you need to be up to date. You need to know how to use CLI. It just gives you the ability to have more control over your application. If you use Expo, it comes with all these other dependencies, your application. To actually build an API, not API, IPA file, you'll see those IPA files are the size of them are much larger than it would be if it was a CLI project. Anyways, now that we've actually installed our navigation, let me take a look. What was the last dependency, last call? Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and look for bottom tab navigator. Actually, they have a new one. There's a material bottom tab. I really don't like see what material bottom tab is all about. Okay, so material. I've never used this one. So I'm hoping this doesn't crash anything, but I want to check this out. So yeah, let's go ahead and check this out. See how this goes. All right, so yarn. I'm going to grab what we have here. And I'm going to paste this in. You have Expo Manage Project. You can directly run this. I don't have Expo. Okay, so the Bear project. Need to copy this. All right, so typically in your projects, for your navigation, you want to create a directory that's specific for navigation. Since this application is fairly small, I'm not going to create a navigation directory. I'm just going to have a file called navigation. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just paste everything that we have here. Okay, cool. Now, as you can see, our application only exists within our app.js file. This isn't something that we want to do. What we want to go ahead and do, we want to import our home screen from another component. So I'm going to create a directory called screens. I'll call this one we'll rename this directory home screen. I have an index.js file. Go to my app. I'm going to copy everything here. Also going to replace the app with home screen. Okay, awesome. And it didn't build, so I had to bring in some of these articles. Let me see. Is that right? So 2 out, 2 out, 2 out. So I had to. Oh, I see. So this is going to be. Yep. Import news sections. Okay. All right. So now we have all our imports are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and now go back to my navigation.js file, and I'm going to import our home screen. Okay. Also have to import our tab navigator. So React. All right. Import React from React. Okay. All right. So next, what I'm going to go ahead and do is go back into my app.js file, clear this out. App.js, save it. Inspect it. I'm going to import. Let me go back to my navigation. I need to export default my tabs. I'll call it app tabs. Okay, money. I'm going to go ahead and import app tabs. You like if you got to export your file. Let me see. No, I didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and see how my pods look. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I'll have to restart our application because basically our pods changed. Go ahead, force quit Xcode. Now I have to reopen Xcode again. Close this out. Do a yarn install. Make sure I reset the cache. Center. Also, let me open this back up. Let's go back to workspace. Now pods are updated. This processing can take forever. We don't even have to wait for this. I'm gonna go ahead and press play, run, and then while that's loading, go ahead and check out chat. Oh yeah. So navigation container. That is right. So let me take a look at. Import navigation container. Rename this to tabs. Say function app navigation. Turn. tabs. At navigation. I'm going to go back to our app.js file, and I'm going to import app navigation. Okay. Now it's looking pretty good. Let me check out the bottom tab navigator again. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna see if this is actually run the way we want it to run. Now I'll have to go ahead and restart it again, but it's not a big deal. Okay. Okay. Import home screen. Oh, snap. Let me see. Navigation container. Let me see. Okay. Let me check this out now. Is the Metro not running? Huh. Okay, so now I don't know why I have this space right here. This is tripping me out. Home screen. Let me take a look at, go back to our home screen. Oh, I know what's going on. Let's go back in here. There's padding that I put at the top of the screen. Padding top, remove that. Okay, there we go. And actually, I want to put some, let me go back, padding top, and I'll put 16. That looks way better. Okay, cool. So right now we need to create another screen that's going to show our saved articles. So I'm going to create another screen and I'll say saved articles. Yes. I'm going to go ahead. Everything we have in here. and paste it in here. I'm going to rename this from home screen to saved article screen. Place that. Now, within my navigation, I'm going to import saved article screen. Saved. Save for short. Save article screen. Now you can see we have a save tab. Now, if we go back and forth, you can see our articles, they're basically identical, right? And that's not what we want. What we want to bring in is just our saved articles. Now, in order to go ahead and do that, if I go to our saved articles directory, you can see right now saved articles is bringing in our selector for select news articles. But instead, I want to bring in our selector for select saved articles. So I'm going to go ahead and create another selector. I'm going to call this export const select saved articles. State equals state dot news dot saved articles. I'm going to import select save articles. Select save articles. There we go. Now that we have our saved articles, all right, and I don't want to dispatch anything, so I'm going to remove this hook, and I'm going to remove this saved articles function. Get this out of here, this dispatcher. We don't need any of this. Functionality out of here. On press saved, we don't need any of this. We're not fetching anything. And see that dispatch, get that out of here. And yeah, now we look good. So we have an issue. We're not seeing any of our saved articles. I'm guessing that's because I rebuilt the application. I didn't save any articles. If I go ahead and check out the reducer, if I go to my state, news, saved articles is completely empty. Okay, now we got to we found out who the culprit was, and now I'm going to go ahead and go back to my home screen. I'm going to save one of these articles. You see we called our saved articles action. And now when I check out saved articles, you can see we have an article saved. Beautiful. That's exactly what we wanted. Now I'm going to go ahead and just save another article and see if that updates as well. So this is awesome. This is exactly what we wanted. Now there's another issue attached to this. If you take a look, we're not viewing our article. We're only saving our articles. But what if we want to read our article? We want to be, we basically want to check the article out within the application. We're going to add that functionality in next week's tutorial. So I'm going to end it right here for the tutorial. And I'm going to check out some of these comments. Okay, I got a few. Actually, yeah, I have a few people watching it right now. What was it? Bree Powered, Jackson George, and John Edited. Hey, Darron, Johnny from West Africa. Glad to be a part of this webinar. Hey, John, thank you for watching, man. Hopefully you got here at the beginning, because I mean, I do these walkthroughs every week. I build an application, And the purpose of building this application is actually show you how not just React Native works, but how some of the dependencies that are essential to React Native work. Last week we did Redux. Redux is a major dependency that all React Native developers and React developers should know. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. We set up the reducers, we set up the store, we actually create our actions and use that within the application. The purpose of this video was to show you how to use navigation within React Native and show you how that works. Next week, we're going to, I'm going to open up a modal, and within that modal, we're going to be able to view the article and read the article within the application. I have a few different ideas that I want to do, but the purpose of these tutorials is to get you familiar with how a mobile application is supposed to flow, and also how just how the application updates depending on what actions happen with the state. I'm going to show you how to do authentication a few weeks from now, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Sorry about that. Hey, do you guys have any questions around React Native or software development? If you don't know, I have about 6 years. I have 6 years of professional software development. So if you have any questions around that, if you want to have any questions about, for me, trying to get to know me, I'm open to answering those as well. And yeah, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll wait about 5 minutes, but if you guys don't have any questions, you know, we'll close it out. How many of you guys actually are new to React Native? I'm not sure if this, I'm actually reading the chat from StreamYard. I'm not even sure that it's even showing me the most up-to-date comments. So I'm going to check that out myself. Jay from Nigeria. Hey, what's up? Oh, hey, what's up, Jerry? I have that TypeScript course for you, man. I remember you asked me about it. So the TypeScript course is up. It's up. It's available right now, dude. All you got to do is just go check it out on the site. I'll show you how to use APIs and just how to use TypeScript throughout the application. Let's see what else we have. Bree Powered. You're new to React and React Native. Hey, Bree, are you somebody that's studying computer science or any kind of IT in college, or are you changing careers? Is Bree still there? Hey, Jerry, are you still on? Comment if you're still on. Self-taught journey. Okay. Have you studied anything outside of React Native? React and React Native. Have you played around with Angular? Have you played around with Vue? Anything else, or is it just straight React and React Native? Oh. Okay. I'm gonna put Jerry on top. You know what would be cool is that if I can get some of you guys to do these with me, do some of these live streams with me, and we can kind of just get to know each other. And then also I can help you guys out with any other applications that you're building. Jerry, he was actually one of my first supporters when I first started launching GeekMODE and all my courses. Jerry was the first one to actually purchase a course. He sent me a few messages about React Native and also gave me ideas on how I can actually improve the course. I appreciate all of Jerry's support. And yeah, man, I'm proud of you, dude. You built 3 applications. That's awesome. Are you working as a developer now? Do you have any professional work? Are you getting paid, or are you just building? Because if you're just building and you want to get paid, you should check me out on LinkedIn. Add me to LinkedIn, and then make sure that I want to help you improve your LinkedIn, because I get people who come to me about jobs all the time on LinkedIn. I'm actually going to share my screen real fast so you can actually check that out. Because I mean, man, I don't need a job right now. I mean, the job I work for, the company I work for right now is pretty awesome. But if I go to my messages, Like people hit me up all the time. I don't even check these messages most of the time, but I have people get at me about, I'm not even lying. Like I make more than this right now, just keeping it real. But this is 160 base for a position. I don't even apply for jobs anymore. Like people try to convince me to leave my job to work for them. This is a, oh, this isn't even a React. Sometimes I have recruiters that are, they're not familiar with, they don't know the difference between React and React Native. So they just, they'll propose a position to me and it's something I'm not even qualified for. Lone Pro, what is it? Senior React Native developer. I've had a few companies reach out to me for mobile architect positions, basically building their app from scratch and then managing their team and teaching them how to build a solid React Native application. And I think that's something I want to do because right now I'm in a lead position, and the lead role isn't too much far off from a mobile architect. A lead role, the difference is that a lead, you're not actually building the app from scratch. You may or may not build the app from scratch. You're just there to basically do your supervisor's job. You're the supervisor of the other engineers. But with mobile architect, it's just a lot more creativity. There's more meetings, but yeah. But yeah, man, if you have a LinkedIn, you need to add me on LinkedIn because I can easily help you get a job. Some of those jobs are, you have to be in the United States, but there's a few companies that I do know of that do contract work that hire worldwide. And I can forward them your LinkedIn and your resume. I've done that for a few people already. Now, let me see. Go back to these questions. Bro, vanilla JavaScript, React. No, backend engineer. Oh. Oh, that's what's up, man. That's cool. You working backend? I went to school. Oh, let me stop sharing this thing. I went to school for information systems, and information systems is like database architecture and all that stuff. But there's also my first company I worked for, I was a mobile developer, but I also built our RESTful API using, what was it, Express? Yeah, basically using Express, and we used another dependency called Sequelize. We use Sequelize to basically have our API communicate to our I can't remember, it's Microsoft SQL Server. But yeah, that's what's up, man. Can I have the name on LinkedIn? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm actually gonna put a link to it in the chat. Okay. All right. That link should work. A Bree powered. A Bree. So have you actually since you're learning React Native and React, have you actually built anything using React Native yet? I'll wait like a minute more for Bree, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, I do these every week. So make sure you tune in every week. If there's anything you want me to cover, if there's anything React Native wise you want me to cover, get at me and I'll make sure I'll take care of it. Haven't built anything yet, trying to get comfortable with the syntax. Hey Bree, would you feel comfortable doing a live stream with me, and then I can just help you build a React Native application? It's just free, basically free tutoring. I can teach you how to build something from the ground up, and I think it'd be cool for other people who are watching this channel and trying to learn React Native as well. Do you need to learn TypeScript for React Native to work? No, you don't. You don't. And honestly, I would advise you not to use TypeScript when you learn React Native at the beginning because it's just gonna it's gonna go over your head, man. The most important thing is that you understand how React works. Because once you know how React works or React Native works, then it's gonna be easy to type your application. You know, since we're on, I'm gonna go to the TypeScript course that I created. Go to GeekMODE to Tech. Make sure I'm sharing. Am I sharing my screen? So I'm hoping that I didn't. I think I switched this up a little bit, so I can't even view the TypeScript course from here. Let's see. TypeScript is like for intermediates. Once you become, once you're like familiar with React and JavaScript, then you should check out TypeScript after that. I'm going to go to the actual school. Okay. You don't need to know TypeScript to actually build a React Native application. Are they not going to let me watch this thing? Because I'm like, there's another way for me to do this. Let me see. Mocking our data. It's saying that it's locked and I can't even view it. Oh, okay. I can't view it. So right now I have our project open. So let me go ahead and check this out so I can explain some of the things that's happening in here. So basically what I did for this tutorial on this part is I went ahead and I mocked the data. And the idea I got for this application, I had an interview with the company and they didn't send me an API. Usually companies send you an API, they want you to call it and mutate the information, but instead they gave me some mock data and I used some of that mock data in this tutorial. But basically, as you can see, right now we have an array of objects, and within all those objects, we have a variety of different properties. So what I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy everything that it has in here. This is when so I'm creating my interface for my clinicians right here. And to create that interface, all I did was copy the response. This is how easy TypeScript is. All you really need to know is JavaScript right now. Get comfortable using JavaScript because once you understand how objects and how data works within within React Native or JavaScript in general, you want to copy that data object, and all you have to do is paste it into an interface. TypeScript, if you're using just JavaScript, most likely using prop types, but with TypeScript, you're going to be basically strongly typing your applications using interfaces or using I believe it's types. Yeah, you have interfaces, and then you also have another one I can't think of right now off the top of my head. But the company I work for, we mostly use interfaces. And then if you take a look at the video, as you can see, I'm just updating it to a string. I'm going to update all of these properties to a string. String. And now when I bring that into this data, now right now my mock data, it doesn't have any kind of type to it. It's just an array of objects. But what I'm going to do at the end of my mock data, I'm going to add its type. So first I'm going to import the interface for clinicians. And as you can see, I set the mock data, I set it to clinicians, it's valued to clinicians. And at the end of clinicians, you can't see because of this like yellow circle, I add an array to it so that it actually knows that we're looking at an array of clinicians. And that warning goes away. At first, when I have it there, the mock data, there's a warning because there's an array of objects. But as soon as I add the array after the object, it goes away. All right. But that's essentially how TypeScript works. I think the most difficult thing with TypeScript is when you're typing your reducers. when you have to type your reducers, or you have to start typing your state. Like sometimes when you're using selectors or use, what is that? Selectors, and it's use select in what is the thing called? I can't remember the hook. Yeah, when you're using use selector and you're bringing in data from your reducer, you have to type that information in some cases. Well, in mostly all cases, but that's when things get really complicated. And then when you have different types sitting on top of each other, we do some of that within the course as well. So, you know, if you're, I would advise you to try it out yourself. If you feel comfortable with yourself, if you need some any kind of tutorial, any kind of tutoring, just to get at me. Do you need TypeScript to learn? Hopefully that was helpful, man. But hey, Bree, if you can, I appreciate if you just email me. Let me know what you're trying to learn with React Native, and we can set something up. Cause I think it'd be cool if we can get together and walk through that and also present it to other people within this channel. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. If you're not following me on social media, check out my Instagram so you can stay in touch. You can get to know me. Also, I also have a YouTube channel called A Podcast for Men. I'm going to go ahead and post a link to that as well. So then that way you can see the other things that I'm doing in my life outside of software development. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Yeah, Bree, get at me on, you can email me or also check out the Discord in the description. Send me a direct message and we can get you started on your React Native journey. So let's see. Here's a link to my my podcast. Make sure it's, I mean, do that twice. But anyways, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I support the, I love the support that I'm getting from this community. And yeah, I'll just catch you next week at noon Mountain Time. All right, everybody, you have a good night. Peace.